everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Sister Friends podcast. I'm your co-host, Lo, along with the other two co-hosts, Jam and Sam. How are you, ladies?
Hi. I'm highly favored. Blessed and highly favored.
Love it. That's right. How was today? How is the day going so far?
Today's been good,
Today's been fantastic for me.
Today's been good.
Must be
One of the
nice.
better ones.
Okay, I won't bother to lament on mine. I had a rough day. It's been rough. It continues, but here we are another day, and it's been a rough year. It's been an interesting year. With this pandemic, right? Wow. Where do we begin? It's been a year. We've been in this lockdown, various stages of lockdown, various stages of this pandemic. And how has your life changed with this coronavirus, with everything that's been going on for a full solid year? And Jam, I love your sunset. Your background is amazing.
It looks like a postcard, Jam.
Right?
And meanwhile, my light has me is so bright. It has me looking like a ghost tonight. But whatever.
Oh,
last week
we'll carry on.
Last week I saw.
We shall.
Well, let me start with this pandemic. It's been, what can we say? It's been a hell of a year, eh?
Right.
What I'm thankful for, before I even say how it's changed my lifestyle and day to day. I have to say I am one of the few who kept my job throughout the pandemic. I had a job to go to.
Right.
My income was not affected, so I was still able to provide. We're still able to provide for the family throughout the pandemic. So I have to give thanks for that. In other ways, it's restricted our movements. I've become more aware of people around me in terms of people coming too close to me, or,
right.
Before I didn't mind if somebody came and, came to my desk and stood beside me, but no, everybody has to be way off, speaking to me. And it's been hard, yes, but it hasn't affected me too much. I never really went out in crowds much. Any type of crowd I would go into, it would be outdoors. It wouldn't be enclosed, and so it hasn't really affected my lifestyle that much. I don't really go to parties and that. No. So I don't really miss that. So when they had the early our curfews here in Jamaica, I didn't really feel, or the all weekend lockdowns.
Right.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that too much because I never really went out anyway. So, but in other ways, the restriction of movement during the day, and that's pretty much it. The mask wearing, it took some getting used to.
Right.
As well, but had to get used to it. It didn't have a choice.
Right.
And I also have to say I'm thankful that, my sister got it, but no one else in my family got it. And she got over it. Thank God.
Good.
She came out on the other side. Well, not fully recovered, because sometimes she has a bit of fatigue even now.
Really?
She got it. She contracted it in October.
Okay.
Last year, and she still has fatigue. She still has problems.
Wow.
Going up a flight of stairs.
Oh wow.
Walking from one room to the next. She feels very tired.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Just things that you took for granted, before.
Yeah.
You just going up a flight of stairs, it's the norm, and now you're fatigued, and that's one of the issues. Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
How has this pandemic affected you, Sam? How much has your life been impacted with this whole pandemic?
My life I've had a significant impact. Probably more significant than Jam. I've been fortunate as well to have kept my my 9 to 5 income. As you guys know, I am also a business owner, and that was affected by the pandemic. And I've been fortunate to be able to work from home, so I've kept safe, and I too have created new boundaries of personal space when I do leave the home. Just the simple things like switching my routine. I have a routine now where if I have to go to the grocery store, I won't buy anything no more than 5 items. Other than that, I'll have it delivered or I'll do a grocery pickup. Just ways of switching, being cognizant of, taking off my coat when I come home by the door, things like that, right? So I've developed those routines. Yeah. Obsessive about sanitizing and hand sanitizer and so forth. But on a more emotional level, I haven't been able to see my family because I live away from my family. Right. And that part has been very difficult. My father, we as everybody knows, I lost my mom last year, and my
right before the lockdown.
Right before the lockdown, right. So I traveled back here, and a couple of days later we were in lockdown. So all plans we had of spending Daddy's birthday with him, he's now on his second COVID birthday. He just had his second COVID birthday last week. The plans of spending his birthday with him, he just lost his wife. His kids aren't able to come back home as we had planned to spend, the anniversary of Mommy's passing with him. All the things that we had planned, we weren't able to do. And that's very tough. And my dad is at an age where he was part of the more restricted lockdowns in Jamaica. So because of his age group, the age group he falls into. So there's that aspect of, for him, he's been so affected, and in turn, I've been affected as well.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I only have but one person in my life who did contract COVID, and unfortunately was hospitalized. And that was difficult because no one could go in to visit them.
Yes.
So that was tough. I experienced other losses right after. Within the year, lost 2 very close family members, wasn't able to travel for their services, attended, too many Zoom funerals. I have another Zoom funeral tomorrow.
Oh no.
Yeah, so though that part of it has been difficult to cope with, I am so grateful that my immediate family and I have avoided it, that my girls have avoided it. I'm so grateful that for all of that. But the reality of it has been emotionally taxing. It has been tough. I've learned over the time that I learned recently that I'm actually an introvert.
Wait, is that right?
I need to give you that test.
Yes, I'm actually an introvert. So the first, I know.
Miss, I talk to every stranger on the street. Okay.
They talk to me. They initiate the conversations with me, and then I just, to turn my back on them, and so the first few months, I would say the first 8 months, because now we're well over a year into
right?
We're about 13, 14 months into this.
Yeah.
So the first 8 months or so was not, even maybe the first 10 months was not that difficult for me. I enjoyed the time alone. I relished the time alone. I relished the time with just me and my kid. I relished the time, I utilized the technology, and that was enough for me. But I feel like now, over the last couple of months, I've really been yearning to just go out and have fun.
Parties, music, concerts, dancing.
Concerts, live music. I'm missing that. Even the little times when we would gather at friends' homes and play music, and everybody is, balancing in the living room or whatever, just having a good time. I miss that. I do. I crave that.
Wow.
That's for me. That's me in a nutshell of the last 14 months.
Oh my God. Tell me about it. I as you know, I work in healthcare, so we dramatically changed for us. We had to adapt. I work in cancer care, which they told us straight up, even though quite a few of the staff during the initial shutdown work from home, our department, we stayed staffed as usual because cancer doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And patients in the middle of their cancer care, they still need care. So we continued throughout the initial shutdown, other shutdown. We changed our routine. Like visitors were no longer allowed inside. All those patients that needed support, how we had to wear a mask, we had to wear face shield. And when we were treating patients who are positive, we had N95, face shields, head covering, body covering, booties, the whole thing. It was just such a change. And of course, initially, you're scared of this thing. You didn't know much about it. So you're scared for yourself. And in the early stage, my brother-in-law got it in New York City. As you know, it impacted them early on really bad. That's when the world came to attention, when New York City shut down.
Yeah.
So, and he got it really bad. And, we're telling my sister, hey, just let him stay in the room, close the door, close everything, wear your mask, where he needs to wear his mask, just put his food at the door. And there was one night where she's like, I couldn't. He was in there, not like he was about to go. And she had to go in and just hit his back.
Wow.
Just to make sure he survived, just so that fluid that's building up in the lungs, air could go through. And so right away, I knew how bad this thing could be. Even though we didn't understand it fully, we knew that just drinking a special cup of tea didn't fix it or didn't prevent it. It helped, but it didn't prevent it. So my life at home changed. My husband, as you guys know, he travels 3 weeks out of the month. He would travel for work, the Caribbean, Latin America, and things like that. And so now he's home. He's grounded. He hasn't flown since last year.
Like
fun times, but an adjustment
all over again.
A 1-year honeymoon. But it's different. It's different. Or my routine had to change a little bit. His routine had to change. He's now working from home. He's no longer flying all over the place. Fly there Monday, come back home Friday, just to pack to go back. I come home. Normally I'm home, get something to eat, get in my comfy pajamas, and I'm in bed. And he's like, oh, that's what you sleep in, Like, yeah, it's comfy. Like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, nothing lacy.
No, holy, but man, not lazy.
You're supposed to be on a plane somewhere.
Right? Exactly. So, it was some getting used to. My nephew, as y'all know, I'm really super, that's like my child. He got it. And it was very hard when he was hospitalized and I couldn't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And you're trying to control everything from the outside. You're scared to death. Because he has asthma. Growing up as a child, he had asthma real bad. So, fortunately, he pulled through. He only spent, I think, 2 nights in the hospital.
Yeah, but that was a rough time, man. I remember.
It's rough. And then it bothered me when people took it lightly, where they made it trivial. It got me so worked up. Like, do you not understand that real people are being affected by this? There are real people getting sick, dying. And those who were blessed and didn't pass, they're still fighting with the long-term effects.
Yeah.
Dying alone. People cannot
dying alone.
Their family, It's
the nursing homes, all these assisted living communities, they all shut down. So all these people, they only had a stranger. They look forward to visitation, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when my uncle was in a rehab facility before he passed, and I would get to go there. I would get to go straight to his room, and just to imagine not taking his newspaper to him, things like that. It's really a painful experience. As our family, as you say, we were blessed. We didn't lose our income. We we're able to maintain our lifestyle. But of course, the vacations stop, the traveling stop, the cruises stop, going out for dinner, breakfast.
Yeah, the close interactions with friends.
Right. Gone. And you're right. It does take an emotional toll, and of course the physical toll with the weight gain,
Nothing else to do but snack, right?
Right?
Oh boy. But no, you mentioned something about drinking tea that
right?
doesn't help. So what do you think? How do you think that nutrition plays a role in fighting the COVID, as in terms of building up your body's immunity?
I think nutrition on a whole is important, period. The healthier you are, the better chances you have. So if you don't have high cholesterol, if you don't have high blood pressure, if you're not overweight, not obese, things like that, it does help. Absolutely. Because if you look at it, a lot of the people that pass are those that had underlying conditions and not completely healthy. So a healthy lifestyle absolutely helps in any given situation, from diabetes, hypertension, cancer, the whole works. It does help. But with this COVID, I don't think it played as an important role with prevention.
Yeah,
because healthy people got this crap.
Healthy people suffered. Healthy people
a lot.
Athletes work out every day, eat right, live with a dietitian or a nutritionist, died from this thing,
Right. And
I feel
that's
like
the
it
thing.
Didn't really discriminate.
No.
I feel like it didn't or it doesn't. I can't. I have to stop speaking about
it's still here. It's still freaking here.
Here in wave 4.
Yeah.
4th wave.
Right. With all these variants.
It's so unpredictable. You don't even know how it's going to affect you. One person may have a particular symptom, but then somebody else doesn't show that symptom, but they may have a different symptom.
Right.
So it's just unpredictable.
Very.
And the uncertainty that surrounds it's scary, because you can't even say, okay, well, let's make plans to do certain things.
Yeah.
You can't.
Like a couple months down the road or next month, because there's no way of knowing if it's going to go away next month, next year, tomorrow, whenever. It's just here.
If you had asked me, I would have sworn we would have been back to normal Christmas
last year.
Yeah.
That's what
Christmas,
I thought too.
I thought we would have the world would have a Merry Christmas. I really thought so.
Yeah.
Or
at least did. I was, when the experts were saying, as the months get hotter, it may, get rid of it, but that didn't work at all. No. The heat didn't affect it in any way.
4th of July sent up numbers, because I remember being in the South down here with all those barbecues. They didn't stop. People still doing what they want because they refuse to adjust. And it takes some adjustment. It's a huge adjustment. I believe that. But I think we have control of it, or we should take control of it. But to come back to your question with regards to nutrition, it helps, yes. I just don't think it's a good enough prevention to be the only, for people to say, I have my nutrition, I have my teas, I have my this, I have my that. I don't need anything else. Like some people probably don't even take the necessary precaution, the social distance, the wearing of, the proper wearing the mask properly.
So does the advent of the different vaccines. So apart from, giving yourself a fighting chance with a good optimum immune system, the vaccine would be an additional support.
I think so. What says you, Sam?
I'm pro vaccination. I'm pro COVID vaccination, but I understand why people aren't.
Yes.
I 100% get it. I'm wary of vaccinating my child, say for example. Right?
Yeah.
I do think about the people I love typically more than I think about myself, right? So I think about the effects of what will happen with them in the vaccination. It's new, so it's scary.
Very new.
It happened really quickly. It happened with technology and medicine that hasn't really been well verified.
Used on humans before?
Yeah, right. Well verified yet, or so. But I believe in science.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in progression, and whereas as you guys know, I believe in a healthy diet. I believe, and I do exercise regularly. I believe in all of that, but I also believe in science. I also believe that we evolve and that we grow and we learn a lot. So, whether or not we know that it's not going to give anybody 100% efficacy, right? We know this about the different vaccines.
Yeah.
I just think that it doesn't help with so much false rumors, unproven rumors going around. I think that it's it cuts off your sperm count, unproven. You know what I mean? It makes you sterile.
Some of them need to get cut, but
erectile dysfunction.
That's not one of it. COVID caused that.
As a matter of fact, did you guys see that video about the with the guy that said that COVID gave him erectile dysfunction?
Right.
So I think that is especially for Black men.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy,
that should be a full encouragement.
But blame the COVID for that.
Enough of a reason for them to go get the damn shot.
Yeah. Right.
And,
wow.
So I just, that's the part that bothers me. It bothers me because people have genuine fears. And I hate that there are people out there who are feeding those fears with unproven and it's fuel to the fire. It's similar to recently the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was released to be giving these blood clot issues.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Valid,
right.
But the depth to it isn't proven yet. And I just see all these all these things going around that are just frightening people and scaring people. And the day it came out in the news, I got texts from people saying, "Oh my God, I got that vaccine. Oh my God, my parents got that vaccine. Oh, you know what I mean?" And
right. My cousin got it. Mm-hmm.
So they do not know enough yet. It is 6 out of 60 million people. Take a deep breath, sit back and wait for them to know more before you send yourself into hysteria. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to read between the lines. Sometimes you have to think for yourself. And I hate that with the massive panic that has happened over the last 13, 14 months, that people are still feeding these fears of people. And it kills me. I hate that.
I know. I've asked a few people recently, since this week, you know, we've been in this pandemic for a year. How has the pandemic affected you? And they gave me the same feelings we've had. Emotionally, it's been a burden. They miss going to the movies.
It's exhausting.
I
feel exhausted.
Right. You know, my niece is worried about her future. She's, first year grad student out in Stanford. And to me, her future looks good, but she's worried about her future. She's lost sleep over it. But she's, doing breathing and stuff. Maybe. People have lost their jobs. People who are employed in the cruise industry have lost their jobs with no hope of when it will return. And I followed up with a few people, including my family. Well, now that we're in the pandemic, it doesn't look as if this thing is going away. How do you feel about getting the vaccine? Quite a few people I know have taken it, especially at my job. I think over 50% of our coworkers have taken the vaccine, but there's still some that says, I don't trust it. And initially I was hesitant. I really was hesitant about the vaccine. I wasn't going to take it, but I did. And the reason why
both shots, right, Lou?
Huh?
You got both shots?
I got both shots and I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. But how it was presented, and as Sam said, we trust medicine. Because we read with understanding, and I think that's also a problem, reading with understanding. And it was presented to say, this is a new vaccine. The carrier that most other vaccine uses, which is what typically caused the reaction, that whole thing with some of it give autism in kids, la, la, la. This vaccine wasn't done that way. And what it does, it is created to trigger your body to make antibodies for the coronavirus. It will not give you the virus. It just triggers, which is why some people for the first 48 hours, they feel ill. It's your body feeling as if it's under attack. So it's building white blood cells, which sometimes your lymph nodes or whatever may feel a little bit swollen. Your body's creating its defense. So therefore, if you happen to get the virus after you get the vaccine, which is a possibility, it is not 100%. None of them are, and none of them have ever said they are. But if you do get the vaccine and you get the virus after contracting the vaccine, then chances are you shouldn't need hospitalization. You shouldn't need to go on a ventilator. And knock on wood 3 times, you shouldn't pass away from the virus because your body is already prepared for it, so it can fight it a little better. And that is how it was presented to me, and it made sense because I thought of myself personally. I have an underlying condition. So chances are, if I do get this thing, I work in healthcare, patients come in, as Jams, you said earlier, some people don't even know they have it. They don't show the regular symptoms, so they just don't know. If I contract it, I don't want to be in the hospital by myself. I don't want that. So do something to help myself, in other words, and in return, help my loved ones, because I know what it's like when you're on the outside and you just can't go in to see a loved one in the hospital. So that was the reason I got it. But like, for example, my sister said she's not taking it, which I respect that. And that's perfectly fine. But I asked her, why not? And her response, well, it's the mark of the beast.
Oh, boy.
What? Like, oh, dear Jesus, fix it.
Wait, technical difficulties.
That's okay, baby. As long as you're not losing yourself.
Okay, wait.
Is the beast coming for you, Jeff?
No. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, good.
I was reading, what was it? Lord have mercy. You guys know, one of my favorite things to do on social media is to read the comments on the posts, right?
Right.
Nothing in the world. There's nothing in the world better than Jamaican people comment.
Oh God, no, never a dull moment.
People comment how is AIDS in them injected into you.
Lord of mercy, that one new for me.
That one before.
This is what people are saying, that is AIDS them inject. Oh, remember when the Prime Minister of Jamaica was getting his, they said that he didn't really get it?
Yes.
And they insisted.
Oh, the nurse turned the needle so the angle never look right.
Find what in it?
Oh my God. Oh
Listen.
my God. I've heard it.
The conspiracies.
Right.
I mean, if Jamaican people say you have to take serious thing, make jokes sometimes, but
right.
But comic relief in all of it. At the very worst, I'm grateful that
you can laugh, eh?
Right.
You still can laugh.
What about you, Jam?
I'm right now. I'm in a watch and see, wait and see mode. I don't want to take it right now because there's so much information out there, and you don't know what's facts and what's false, and it's just too much, and I can't bother decipher it right now. I just wait and see. I just want to see like the persons who have gotten it already, whichever one they got, and just wait and hear if any other symptom may arise or how it is treated or how it is dealt with.
Right.
But for right now, I'm not taking it.
Right. Have you heard any other thing that made you like extra cautious? Like what else have you heard? What's the big deterrent other than there's only 6 months of data out there?
Well, the one that came to Jamaica was the AstraZeneca.
Oh, right.
So I've been hearing that other countries have been refusing to take it. I heard that it killed a few people in other countries. That's why they stopped using it. So I'm saying if those other countries are not taking it, why are we? I don't want to rush to take something. I don't want to be a statistic. I could be one of the unfortunate ones that has an adverse reaction to it. So I don't want to find that. I don't want to be a lab rat nor a statistic. So I will just wait until version 2.0 or 4.0 comes out.
4.0.
And all the nicks and the bugs have been worked out.
Right.
Listen,
and that's okay.
My take on this is anybody who has trepidations or concerns about taking the damn vaccine is completely justified, especially people of color. People of color have been used.
Right. Right.
Black people, not just people of color, black people have been used as experiments for time immemorial. So I get it and I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect your opinion. I drove myself crazy with this vaccine stuff.
Yeah.
Because you guys know I'm a researcher. I love to research shit. And I read and I researched different brands and the studies and the data and the statistics. But I felt I owed that to myself if I was going to put some money, right? So I did it and I went crazy and I read it. And then I have asthma, but as it turns out that asthma is not a big risk factor for COVID, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I have a drug allergy, you know what I mean? So I had a lot of concerns. So I made an appointment with my doctor, who I trust implicitly. I mean, I trust my doctor big time. And it took me a long time to find a doctor I trust, but that's a whole other episode. And I had a conversation with her, and eventually I got to the other side where I felt like I'm okay with this. You know, at least it can give me some type of protection. I felt like it would. But anybody, I respect everybody's opinion, whether you want to take it or you don't take it. I respect your opinion to the ground.
Well, I did have to tell my sister the mark of the beast is foolishness.
But
and
the AIDS thing, you know?
Yeah, that's foolish.
Yeah.
But I understand and I agree.
What about the 5G one? They said that they're injecting micro robots, nano robots into
Lord of mercy, I didn't hear that one. I guess I have not been online.
The whole 5G thing.
I heard the 5G was causing the coronavirus. That I heard initially.
Yeah, it was causing, but then there's another spin on it where they're injecting nanorobots into you, and then when the 5G comes online, it will like signal the robots in you to take your body's data.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can be controlled remotely.
So let me ask a question. If I'm controlled, will they take care of the bills? Because you know me, I just need someone to pay the water bill.
No, darling, no business about no bills.
No, okay. Just asking for a friend. I'm just thinking, you know, if you're gonna control me, you're gonna take my bills. I'm just saying. But
what would you do without humans?
I tell you.
It takes all kinds.
All kinds. all flipping kinds.
Yeah.
But
I had a conversation with a really good friend of mine today, and she said at the end of the day, every one of us has had some type of depression through COVID.
Absolutely.
I think she's 100% right. And she said for people who suffered from depression before, it's heightened. For some people, and heightened anxiety.
Anxiety,
Yes.
Mental condition has come out of this. So I just, all I can say is that I cannot wait to see the end of this.
Yeah. Amen. I want a date. And I think that's what pushed me to get the vaccine. I need to go somewhere. I need a vacation. I need something. No more. I'm done with staycations. I will not do another staycation. No.
Trump said 2020. So how was that day? How did that day work out for you?
Didn't. Lord of mercy.
I want to see the end of it. I'm over it. I'm over the loss. I'm over the pain. I'm over.
Yes. And it's very not to make light, right? It's really heartbreaking. So many lives lost.
It's worn at me. It has worn at me.
Yeah, I've lost patience to COVID. Like you coming like, oh, so and so isn't here. Oh yeah, he passed up from what? Definitely not that cancer. That cancer. But don't know. Nope, COVID. Oh, over the weekend. Like it's so painful when something we have no control over that was brought upon us, taken over in our entire lives, but yet we see other countries, Singapore is doing quite fine. I just wish that for us, I just really hope that this vaccine is a part of the answer to this, lockdown, this pandemic, taking care of ourselves, I really just hope that everyone will come out of this, like no more loss of lives, just put an end to it, do our parts so we can all, continue to live our best lives.
Yeah.
Right. We probably didn't really plan this episode like this, but I think it's about time we discuss this pandemic. It's been a year. So, I want to just say thanks to our listeners. Continue to subscribe. Please be safe. Wear your mask, social distance, sanitize. And we'll see you again for another episode of our Sister Friends podcast. Join us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can listen on Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean. Thank you again. Bye. Cheers. Cheers.